Hello and welcome to a new season of Live from the Hive. I'm pleased to announce that both of my hives have come through winter really strong with lots of food stores. So much, in fact, that I had to take 5 kilos of honey between the two of them off so there was enough room and enough blank frames for them to store this spring's honey. And what a glorious spring it is. I mean, we've just got flowers everywhere at the moment. Both hives are really busy, lots of brood, pulling in lots of pollen. So I'm expecting a good season. Now, when I did my first inspection the other week, ever since then, my main hive has been very upset, very angry. And when I looked at my hive monitoring system, to my shock, as you can see in this picture, it predicted they were going to swarm and swarm very quickly. So I've left it about as long as I can, and today I need to go in and I need to look at every single frame down in the brood box. I need to see how the queen's doing, and I need to see if there are any queen cells which tell me she's going to swarm. Now, if I see queen cells, what I'll do is I'll take the queen out and maybe 2 frames of brood. I've got a box prepared, and I will move her across into this box and then let the main hive rear their own queen from one of the eggs that she leaves behind. But I don't know what I'm going to find. So let's have a look. Right, let us go in and have a look. So I'm going to open the lid here. Yep, lots of bees right up into the second super here. So I think what I'm going to do is take both of these supers off and then just go straight into the box at the bottom, sorry, and we'll have a look at these two a bit later. Now, the box in the middle is actually the super that they overwintered with, and that is quite heavy. I need to probably take some more honey out of that. Now you'll hear here how angry they are. I'm a bit worried actually about how aggressive this hive is becoming. Now this is probably all down to genetics of the queen, and I think we certainly need to replace the queen in this hive this year, although she's a very good layer and they're quite robust bees. I think with it being in a garden location we can make them a little better than this. We can make them a little calmer. You'll see them, they'll be pinging off my head, they'll be making a lot of noise. You'll see a lot coming up out of the frames to come and get me. A lot of it's just noise. Didn't get stung at all, they just like to make a lot of noise and to let me know that they're not happy. But I'd like this a bit calmer. So what you can see in the top of the frames here is what they call a hive heart. This is part of the hive monitoring system. This listens in to what the bees are doing and tells me what the temperature and humidity is in the center of the hive here. This is what's detected that they're not happy and that they're going to swarm. So I'm going to start by taking the dummy board out. That just fills in that space so they don't build any comb. And then we'll start with the inspection. So this is one of last season's brood combs. You can tell by the brown coloration. Lots of capped honey there on either side. And I've decided that this is going to be the food frame for the split that I do, that I'm going to put into this little 5-frame nuke here. So let's get that moved. They've got lots of food in this hive. You'll see as we go through, there's a lot of frames that have a lot of honey, so they're not going to miss that one. But that will give this new colony here a really good head start. Just get some of the propolis off of the frame guides here. Everything is really well gummed together after sort of the winter.
Come on, girls.
Now what I'm looking for here is, as I say, a queen cell. Now there are two different types of queen cells. There's a queen cell that sits in the middle of the frame. Now that tends to be a supersedure cell. That's when the colony decides to replace the queen. And they're not really, well, I mean, apart from being an indicator that your queen might be dead, they're really not too much to worry about. What you're looking for though is the queen cells that are hanging off the bottom of the frames or off of a piece of comb that's sort of overhanging the frame. They're always drop down into nothing. Now you can't miss them. They're about the size of a monkey nut, a peanut, and they're quite distinctive, and I've yet to see any. And here we're starting to get into brood. You can see lovely brood pattern here. Now straight away here I can see a queen cup, what they call a queen cup, sat on that little piece of wax overhanging the frame. There was nothing in it, it's just a practice cup, but I'm going to take that out anyway. As ever, I have smoker problems. Never seems to stay alight. I've packed it rather tightly because I've already been to the allotment hive today and done an inspection there, and even though I have this in the back of the truck, I don't like it to be light, so I tend to stuff it quite tightly. Now with all of this brood that I'm seeing in the center of the frames here, these bees are about to explode. Their population is going to just exponentially go through the roof. Look at all of this. This is fantastic, very tight, lots of new bees. This is just what they need for spring. Right now around me there's a lot of blossom, the trees are all out, the hawthorn, and these guys really need to get out there now and start gathering all of this pollen while they can. So there's no need for me to feed them anymore. They've got lots of honey left in the hive, and they've got pollen that they're bringing in. So this is really great.
fuzzy V, brand new one. I've drawn this out nicely. There's the queen. Can you see her?
The queen is still marked with a red dot on her back. Makes it easy to see her if you rewind it a little bit.
Bit of smoke to get the girls down. Come on. They're all noise. All noise. This frame hasn't come out for a while. So we have to inspect every frame today. No, not a queen cell in sight.
I'm smoking more than I probably need to here at this point, but you could probably hear my neighbours are out playing football, and I'm a little bit worried that in their anger these girls might hop over the fence and sting one of them, so I'm just trying to get them together again, put the hive together as fast as possible. Now, because there are no queen cells, there's no need for me to split at this point. They're not about to swarm. So all it would do would just set these bees back. So what I'm going to do is put this all back together again, give them back their honey frame here. I should think when all of that brood explodes, they'll basically be on all 11 of these frames. And then at that point, I'll need to inspect them again. So that's the queen excluder back on top. That stops the queen coming up into the honey supers and laying eggs. So all you have up at the top is honey. And now we are going to have a look at these supers and see if there are any queen cells hanging down from the bottom of these. Now it is unlikely, but the queen excluder only went in last week, so I just want to make doubly sure. So I'm really happy. Both of my colonies today have lots of brood, and they're really starting to ramp up operations, and we're on track for a really good season. So I will be back later on with more videos. As you can see here, I've got a selection of new boxes to split into, so we're going to really start ramping up production this year, and I look forward to seeing you all again soon.